My dear friends, have you ever met a woman who doesn't even realize the power she carries within her? Today, I want to talk to you not just as a motivational speaker, but as a humble observer of life, about the strength of a woman that no storm can shake, no trial can break, and no darkness can dim. Women are not just a part of the world, they are the heartbeat of the world. They nurture, they inspire, they fight, and they heal. But sadly, in a world that often underestimates them, many women themselves forget their true worth. So today, let us remind every daughter, sister, mother, and wife that her strength is not in her titles or appearances, but in the quiet resilience, the unwavering compassion, and the courage to rise every time life tries to push her down. This, my friends, is your true strength. See resilience in adversity, a woman's ability to bounce back stronger after challenges. Compassion as power, true strength is in kindness, empathy, and love. Emotional intelligence, women's ability to understand and navigate emotions deeply. Faith in self and God, standing strong with unshakable faith, even when the world doubts. Multi-role mastery, the strength to be a daughter, wife, mother, leader, all with grace. Silent sacrifices, the quiet, unseen strength in enduring for the sake of loved ones. Courage to stand alone when needed. A woman can stand up for her values even alone. Wisdom in nurturing, building futures by raising and guiding with patience. Unyielding hope, believing in brighter days despite current darkness. Inspiring others, being a living example that motivates others to be strong too. Of a young working woman I once met. She had a high-pressure job in the corporate world. Her mornings were chaos, snoozed alarms, cold breakfasts, and arguments in traffic. Every day felt like a battle. And then, one day, after attending a spiritual talk, she decided to start her day differently. No drastic change, just one small shift. She committed to a 10-second pause every morning before leaving bed. No scrolling, no rushing, just 10 seconds of conscious breath and gratitude. She told me something beautiful. She said, "Those 10 seconds became my anchor. It's the only moment in my day when I'm not reacting, I'm just being. I don't just feel more peaceful, I feel more me." This is the beauty of pause with purpose. It's so small, so simple, yet so transformative. It's like the seed of a tree. Compassion as power is often misunderstood in today's world. Many think that kindness is a sign of weakness, that to be soft-hearted is to be easily broken. But the truth is, compassion requires a kind of strength that not everyone can possess. It is the ability to care deeply even when you have been hurt, to choose love when it would be easier to choose anger, and to keep your heart open in a world that sometimes tries to shut it down. Compassion is not about allowing others to walk over you. It is about rising above the pettiness, the bitterness, and the revenge that consumes so many. It is strength with a gentle face, power that heals instead of harms. I have met women who have carried the burdens of others as if they were their own. They have listened to the unspoken cries of their children, understood the silent struggles of their husbands, and stood as a pillar for friends in moments of crisis. These women may not be the loudest in the room, but their presence is deeply felt because their compassion changes the atmosphere. It makes the cold spaces warm, the hopeless situations bearable, and the darkest days just a little brighter. And here's what makes compassion so powerful: it can transform people. A harsh word can close someone's heart, but a kind word at the right time can open it again. Think of the sun. It does not force the flowers to bloom by shouting at them. It simply gives its warmth, and in that warmth, life grows. Compassion works in the same way. It does not force change, it inspires it. I have seen mothers who forgave children for mistakes that others would never excuse, wives who cared for their husbands long after they had lost the ability to return the same care, and daughters who stayed patient with aging parents despite their own lives being full of demands. These acts are not weakness. They are the truest form of power because they require a strength of heart that nothing else can match. When a woman chooses compassion, she is not saying, "I am too soft to fight." She is saying, "I am strong enough to fight, but wise enough to choose love." This kind of strength creates ripples that go far beyond her own life. It teaches others to respond with kindness, to see the good in people, and to believe in humanity again. In a world that is often quick to judge and slow to understand, compassion is a revolutionary act, and when a woman wields it, she becomes not only a source of comfort, but a force of change, able to mend what is broken, to bring peace where there is conflict, and to leave behind a legacy of love that will outlive her. Emotional intelligence is one of the most remarkable strengths a woman can possess, yet it is often overlooked because it is not as visible as physical strength or as celebrated as intellectual achievement. It is the quiet ability to understand not only her own emotions, but also the emotions of those around her, to read what is left unsaid, to sense what is hidden behind a smile or buried beneath silence. It is the wisdom of the heart combined with the discipline of the mind, and it allows her to navigate the complex and often messy world of human relationships with grace. A woman with high emotional intelligence knows that feelings are not weaknesses. They are signals. She understands when to speak and when to remain silent, when to comfort and when to challenge, when to protect someone from pain and when to let them learn their own lessons. She is aware of the storms inside her, yet she does not let them spill recklessly into the lives of others. She feels deeply but chooses her actions wisely. This is why emotional intelligence is such a profound form of strength, because it demands mastery over the self before it can influence others. I have seen this in mothers who can calm a crying child not just by feeding them, but by sensing what the child truly needs in that moment: comfort, rest, or reassurance. I have seen wives who know when their husbands are burdened even before a word is spoken, and who find gentle ways to ease that burden without making it heavier. I have seen leaders, teachers, and friends who can diffuse conflicts simply by understanding the emotions of the people involved and guiding them toward peace. These moments may seem small, but they hold enormous power because they prevent wounds from deepening, misunderstandings from growing, and relationships from breaking. Emotional intelligence is also about understanding one's own heart. A woman who possesses it does not let her emotions control her decisions, but she also does not bury them and pretend they don't exist. She acknowledges her pain without becoming bitter, her joy without becoming arrogant, her fear without becoming paralyzed. She gives herself permission to feel, but also holds herself accountable to rise above feelings that would pull her down. That balance is rare. It is easy to let emotions rule, and it is easy to shut emotions off completely. But to live in harmony with them takes real inner strength. In a world where people are quick to react and slow to understand, emotional intelligence is like a lamp in the dark. It guides relationships, it nurtures trust, and it makes others feel seen and valued. And when a woman walks through life carrying this lamp, she becomes a source of stability for those around her. People come to her not only for advice, but for the comfort of being understood. And when she speaks, her words carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are spoken from a place of deep awareness. That is the quiet, enduring power of emotional intelligence. It transforms interactions into connections, and connections into bonds that can last a lifetime. Faith in self and God is like the twin wings of a bird. Without one, the flight becomes unsteady, and without both, the journey becomes impossible. For a woman, this faith is the invisible foundation that allows her to stand tall in moments when everything around her feels uncertain. Life, as we know it, does not always unfold according to our plans. There are days when the path ahead is clear and bright, and then there are days when every step feels like walking through fog. In such moments, a woman's greatest anchor is her belief that she is not walking alone, that a higher power is guiding her steps, and that within her lies the strength to keep moving forward, no matter how heavy the road becomes. Faith in self is not arrogance, nor is it blind confidence. It is the quiet conviction that you have been equipped with everything you need to face whatever comes your way. It is trusting your instincts when the world is shouting its doubts, believing in your capacity to learn, adapt, and rise even when you have been knocked down more times than you can count. A woman with faith in herself understands that failure is not a verdict, it is a teacher. She sees rejection not as a final door closing, but as a redirection towards something better. This kind of self-belief is powerful because it refuses to be defined by temporary setbacks. But faith in self alone can sometimes feel incomplete because life will throw challenges that are beyond human understanding or control. This is where faith in God becomes the second wing, the source of peace when logic fails, the calm in the middle of chaos, the trust that even in the silence, He is working. A woman who has faith in God sees life through a different lens. She understands that unanswered prayers are not neglect but protection, that delays are not denials but preparation. She can face uncertainty with courage because she believes that there is a divine hand shaping her story, even when she cannot see the full picture yet. I have met women who have gone through losses so deep that they could have turned bitter, yet they emerged softer, kinder, and more compassionate because they chose to lean on God instead of their own understanding. I have seen women who, when everyone else gave up, kept believing that healing would come, that provision would arrive, that doors would open, and that their pain would one day have a purpose. This faith gives them a light in their eyes that no darkness can extinguish. It allows them to speak words of hope even when their own hearts are still healing. When faith in self and faith in God come together, a woman becomes unstoppable, not because she will never face difficulties, but because difficulties cannot break her spirit. She can step into the unknown without fear, trusting her own abilities while surrendering the outcome to a higher wisdom. She can work tirelessly toward her goals, knowing that her efforts matter, but also resting in the assurance that what is meant for her will find its way. This combination of personal confidence and spiritual trust is like a shield and a sword. It protects her in moments of vulnerability and empowers her in moments of battle. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this faith is it not only strengthens her, but inspires everyone who witnesses it to believe a little more in themselves and a little more in the one who holds all things together. Multi-role mastery is one of the most extraordinary strengths a woman carries, yet it is so often taken for granted because it is performed with such seamless grace. A woman wears many hats in a single day, sometimes even in a single hour. She can be a nurturer, a professional, a friend, a partner, a daughter, and a leader all at once. The remarkable part is not just that she manages these roles, but that she pours her heart into each one, giving every person and every responsibility the attention it deserves. This is not an easy balance to maintain. It requires immense discipline, time management, patience, and above all, love. From the moment she wakes, her mind begins weaving together the threads of her responsibilities. She might be helping a child get ready for school, while mentally preparing for a business meeting, checking on her aging parents, while thinking about dinner plans for the evening, encouraging a friend through a personal crisis, while also handling her own struggles. And she does all of this without expecting applause, because for her, it is not about recognition, it is about commitment to the people and duties she values. This ability to master multiple roles is not about being perfect in all of them. It is about showing up wholeheartedly in each role. A woman understands that her family needs her tenderness, her career demands her focus, her friendships require her empathy, and her own soul needs her care. She switches between these roles not with mechanical efficiency, but with emotional intelligence, adjusting her tone, her energy, and her presence to suit the moment. It is like a musician playing several instruments. Each requires a different touch, but together they create a beautiful symphony. I have seen women who, after a long day of work, still have the energy to sit with their children and listen to their stories as if nothing else in the world matters. I have seen women who manage households so skillfully that every member feels seen and cared for, while still excelling in their professional lives. I have seen women who shoulder community responsibilities, mentor others, and still find time to nourish their own growth. This level of balance does not come without sacrifice. There are late nights, early mornings, moments of exhaustion, but the strength to keep going comes from the deep sense of purpose she carries. Multi-role mastery also teaches a woman resilience, adaptability, and prioritization. She learns that not everything can be done at once, but the most important things must be done well. She understands that each role she plays adds to her character and broadens her perspective. The patience she learns as a mother helps her as a leader. The problem-solving skills she develops at work help her manage her home. The compassion she grows in her personal relationships shapes her interactions in every sphere of life. What makes this truly inspiring is that even in the moments when she feels stretched thin, She finds a way to keep going because she knows that her presence matters in each space she occupies. And perhaps the greatest testament to her strength is that, despite carrying so much, she still finds ways to uplift others. She not only fulfills her roles, she enriches them, leaving behind a legacy in each one. To master many roles is not simply to juggle tasks, it is to live with intention, to give without losing oneself, and to weave a life that is as rich in love as it is in accomplishment. Silent sacrifices are among the most profound expressions of a woman's strength, yet they are often invisible to the world. These are the moments when she gives of herself without expecting recognition, when she bears burdens quietly so that others may thrive, and when she chooses the needs of those she loves over her own comforts or desires. It is easy to celebrate grand gestures, but the true measure of strength is often found in the unseen, unacknowledged acts that demand endurance, patience, and an unwavering heart. A woman makes countless silent sacrifices every day. She may wake before dawn to prepare for a busy day, ensuring her family is cared for before attending to her own responsibilities. She might delay her personal dreams, setting aside her ambitions to support the education, well-being, or growth of her children, spouse, or parents. She often takes on emotional burdens that she never voices, comforting others in their sorrow while quietly managing her own pain. And yet, despite the exhaustion that can weigh on her body and spirit, she continues with unwavering commitment because love drives her more than recognition ever could. These sacrifices are not acts of self-abnegation, they are acts of courage and wisdom. They require a woman to confront discomfort, uncertainty, and sometimes even injustice, while maintaining her dignity and compassion. She may silently forego her own comfort to ensure that someone else's day runs smoothly. She may choose patience over anger when tensions rise, empathy over resentment when misunderstandings occur. Each act is a testament to her inner fortitude, her ability to rise above the trivial, and her commitment to sustaining the lives of those she loves. I have seen women care for sick family members for months, without complaint, manage households while juggling careers, and support their children through struggles they never publicly acknowledged. I have seen them give their time, energy, and attention selflessly, often at the cost of their own rest, peace, and personal growth. And yet, they do not count these sacrifices because their strength does not lie in accolades. It lies in the love and dedication that make those sacrifices meaningful. What makes silent sacrifices truly powerful is the effect they have on others. Though unseen, they shape the lives around them, creating stability where chaos could have taken hold, providing hope where despair could have settled, and nurturing growth where neglect could have prevailed. A child may grow up believing their success was easy. A spouse may feel supported without realizing the depth of care behind it, and a family may thrive without ever fully understanding the countless invisible choices made to make that possible. These silent acts, though unrecognized, are transformative. A woman who sacrifices silently does so not out of obligation, but out of a profound understanding that love is an action before it is a feeling. She knows that true strength is not measured by applause, but by the enduring impact of her patience, her care, and her courage. And while the world may not always notice, her silent sacrifices echo through generations, leaving an imprint on hearts, shaping character, and creating a legacy of resilience and love that no recognition could ever match. Of a young working woman I once met. She had a high-pressure job in the corporate world. Her mornings were chaos, snoozed alarms, cold breakfasts, and arguments in traffic. Every day felt like a battle. And then, one day, after attending a spiritual talk, she decided to start her day differently. No drastic change, just one small shift. She committed to a 10-second pause every morning before leaving bed. No scrolling, no rushing, just 10 seconds of conscious breath and gratitude. She told me something beautiful. She said, "Those 10 seconds became my anchor. It's the only moment in my day when I'm not reacting, I'm just being. I don't just feel more peaceful, I feel more me." This is the beauty of pause with purpose. It's so small, so simple, yet so transformative. It's like the seed of a tree. Wisdom in nurturing is one of the most profound strengths a woman carries, yet it is often underestimated because its impact unfolds quietly over time. To nurture is not simply to care or provide, it is to cultivate growth, instill values, and shape futures with patience, insight, and love. True nurturing requires understanding the unique needs of each person, anticipating challenges before they arise, and guiding others in ways that help them develop their full potential. It is an act that demands vision, empathy, and a steady hand, because the fruits of nurturing are often invisible at first, yet they last a lifetime. A woman who embodies wisdom in nurturing knows that every interaction matters. She understands that her words can heal or harm, that her guidance can inspire confidence or doubt, and that her patience can create security in uncertain times. She does not merely react to situations, she observes, listens, and chooses her actions with intention. Whether she is teaching a child the difference between right and wrong, mentoring a colleague in the workplace, or offering solace to a friend in pain, she does so with the awareness that her influence can shape character, decisions, and ultimately lives. I have seen mothers guide their children through the most formative years with a combination of firmness and tenderness that seems effortless, but is rooted in deep wisdom. I have seen women help friends navigate personal crises, offering counsel not based on judgment, but on understanding, encouraging them to see solutions and opportunities where despair seemed to dominate. I have seen leaders in communities who nurture not just tasks but people, knowing that by fostering growth and confidence in others, they are creating stronger, more resilient communities. Each act of nurturing is a deliberate investment in someone else's journey, and it requires more patience, thoughtfulness, and foresight than most can imagine. What makes this nurturing powerful is that it is not limited to physical care or immediate results. It is about preparing others for the challenges of life, helping them develop resilience, compassion, and wisdom of their own. It is teaching a child to be independent, a friend to be confident, and a team to be cohesive. A woman who nurtures wisely does so without needing constant recognition. She measures her success in the growth she fosters and the strength she helps build in others. It is a quiet, steady influence that often goes unnoticed by the world, but leaves an indelible mark on hearts and minds. Wisdom in nurturing also requires humility. A woman who nurtures understands that she cannot control every outcome, that those she guides must make their own choices, and that mistakes are part of the learning process. Yet she continues to support, guide, and encourage, knowing that her role is to plant seeds, water them, and provide sunlight, even when she cannot predict which ones will bloom immediately. Her patience, insight, and unwavering commitment transform challenges into lessons, struggles into strengths, and potential into achievement. In essence, the wisdom to nurture is a form of quiet power that shapes generations, molds communities, and uplifts societies. It is not about what she gains, but what she gives, not about recognition, but about the enduring impact she leaves behind. A woman who nurtures wisely teaches the world that true strength is not always loud or visible, but it is profoundly transformative, steady, and eternal.